Good morning, Bu Hati.
Guten Morgen.
What happened last night?
Param pam 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 param pam 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 pam. Mari berlayar.
We had a wonderful night at Anchor and got a great night's sleep. What else could possibly happen?
Yeah. Then why we have to move to the living room?
Well, the V-berth isn't very comfortable in heavy seas. Apparently we had a storm blow through last night. Got a little bumpy.
Little bumpy.
A little bumpy. A little bumpy. I think tonight we're going to try the aft cabin.
Yeah. Not just little bumpy, but the noise from the halyard bumping to the mast or
That happens in
really noisy.
That's going to happen in every boat, I think.
If we stay on anchorage all the time, so I guess we make less videos as well because we don't have means to charge our electronics.
Well, remember that for the next time we're in a boat. Or maybe we'll stop somewhere.
So what's the plan for today?
Oh, we're just going to drink a cups of coffee and tea. And then we're going to relax. And then today, when we start sailing, we're going to practice with our mainsail. Yesterday we didn't do a whole lot of mainsails work because we was downwind. Today we're going to really mess with this furling main.
Okay. Tell the viewers what happened.
You act like it's a bad thing. I got to work out
In the morning.
in the morning while we're on vacation. Bullshit.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, we don't have a windlass on this thing. I guess it used to, but it doesn't anymore. So we had to pull the anchor up, and it's a big plow anchor. And since we had that wind last night, it really dug in. So I couldn't get it up by pulling it up. So we had to run a line back to the main winch. And we winched it out, and even that was... So whenever we get our forever boat, we're going to have a good windlass. And a really big emergency winch. Big one.
Okay. Yeah, so what happened was we tied the anchor chain to a free tie, and then we pull it back here and put it on the winch here to winch it up so the anchor goes up. But of course it's easier to say than done. We have to pull all of our energy in the morning. I think we need a second breakfast after this. Okay, Wati, how's the sailing so far for today?
It's pretty exciting earlier. We had over 18 knots of wind.
Yes, and healing
Yeah,
is so bad.
and we got to go into the wind. So we've been doing close reach most of the morning. Now the wind calmed down. We're still getting like 4 knots out of 10, but we got a little bit ways to go, and then we make a right turn, and then we'll be downwind again. So more of this.
Yeah, after healing so much, now it's very calming. And what happened if we cannot go to Makum or to the furthest north of this Iceland?
I feel confident we will do it.
Oh, really?
But if not, we pretty much drop anchor. So we'll find the best place we can and drop anchor. We'll make nice fish.
Okay. Okay.
How about you?
What
What's your
about
most
you?
exciting part of the day?
Healing so bad.
How about
My legs are sore now because I have.
falling leaf getting stuck?
Yeah, that's almost frustrating.
Almost nothing but good sailing for us.
Yeah. But as always, you manage to solve the problem.
2 hours later.
Still, you manage. It's not like one day before the sailing trip ends and then you just realize what's the problem and solve it. Right?
I think I'm looking forward to the next size. 35, 36. I think we're learning a lot about each other. This is the whole point. So next time we'll definitely have to get one with the working ones too.
And don't forget gloves for us.
And sailing gloves.
Yeah.
And our own personal first aid kit.
Yeah, we get beat up already.
Yeah, we
Our-
learned a lot.
Our hands are chafing like the anchor line. But
Oh, by the way, how bundled up we are for late July. Everything's colder on the water.
yeah,
Be a nice warm day on land and come out to the water and it's 10 degrees colder.
all right. Jadi ini adalah lock ya, ini. Lock ini adalah tempat keluar masuk kapal seperti gerbang. Jadi seperti yang saya bilang bahwa ini adalah danau buatan, dibuat untuk mengatasi kebanjiran atau abrasi laut. Jadi mereka seperti membuat bendungan ini ya, dibendung. Awalnya ini air laut yang ada entah bagaimana dikosongkan dan diisi dengan air tawar yang datang dari pegunungan, dari sungai-sungai gitu. Jadi sekarang jadi danau air tawar, danau buatan. Oke, buah hati, what do you thinking?
Thinking how we're gonna buy another anchor.
Yeah, what happened?
We found a anchorage that looked pretty nice. Dropped anchor, and then we had a beer, and then we noticed we was getting closer to the bank, so we was dragging anchor. But since this boat doesn't have a windlass, the wind kicked up to like 20 knots, so I couldn't get the anchor up using the main winch. So we let the anchor go. We put a float on it. So we'll see if we can go back out there today and get it. But if not, we're just gonna say, well, we left your anchor. So they're probably gonna charge us for another anchor. My guess is they're like $700.
Oke. Ya, seperti yang sudah dikatakan tadi ya. Jadi kami bermalam di sini karena sebenarnya bukan rencana. Tadinya kami hanya mau berjangkar saja, tetapi setelah berjangkar ternyata angin sangat kencang dan kami semakin terseret ke daratan, ke arah daratan. Walaupun terseret, tapi kami tidak bisa mengangkat jangkar ya. Ya mungkin karena angin juga terlalu kencang dan kami semakin dekat ke daratan. Jadi kami semakin panik atau bagaimana, akhirnya kami lepas saja jangkarnya. Kami tandai sih, kami beri pelampung, dan ya akhirnya kami pergi ke sini, ke tempat lock ini. Ternyata ada tempat bersandar, dan untungnya ya ada satu tempat tersisa untuk kapal layar, jadi kami bersandar di sini. Keuntungannya sih ini lebih tenang ya. Kalau di berjangkar itu biasanya tempatnya lebih terbuka, jadi lebih kalau ada angin ya lebih berbahaya ya, lebih ribut, lebih tidak tenang tidurnya. Di sini lebih terlindung, jadi relatif tidak ada pergerakan dari kapal, tenang-tenang saja. Ya, dan sekarang kami akan mencoba kembali ke tempat tersebut, mengambil jangkarnya kalau bisa, karena seperti dilihat tadi anginnya juga cukup kencang sekarang. Dan kalau tidak ya tak boleh buat, kami harus mengganti rugi.
Mari berlayar.
Buah hati.
Yes, dear.
It's Wednesday, 28th of July, and it's 6 p.m. now. Wanna tell the audience?
An update?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we talked about the anchoring last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how we found a nice anchorage, but then after we got there, it got windy. We realized we was dragging anchor. So we couldn't get the anchor in because in 20 knot winds, because we didn't have windlass, and we just couldn't get it up hand over hand. So we put a float on it, a fender, and left it. And then we went over and grabbed the dock.
A free dock.
Free dock. So then this morning we was feeling froggy. We said, hey, let's go back out there and check out that anchor and see if we can get it. Sure enough, we went out there and that fender was really close to the rocks. Really close.
Yeah, rock formation.
So we did a
Or rocky beach.
So we did a little drive-by, and I said, no, we gotta let it go.
Okay, so that's the buoy. You can see there it is, yeah. There's the rock.
Austin had different ideas. Austin said, let's just try to get it. I think we can get it.
Yes, that's how stupid I was, or I am.
So we started playing around with it, and I was motoring in, and Austin was at the bow of the boat trying to hook this float. And we tried it, 3 or 4 times? Kept on missing.
I guess 3 times.
And as I said before, we was really close to the rocks, like, I don't know, 1 boat length from the rocks. And sure enough, we caught that anchor road in our propeller, and then the engine stopped. Luckily, I mean, it's hard to imagine you have luck in this situation, but luckily when the propeller caught the road, it actually anchored us. So the anchor was holding us from the propeller. But obviously this is a bad situation. We can't motor. Now we're stuck to the bottom, like, I don't know, 30-some feet from the rocks. So of course we called the rental company and they didn't answer the phone. So we just got on the VHF called Pan Pan, and that's like 1 step down from Mayday. Like, if there's a situation but it's not life-threatening, I mean, we wasn't in threat of our life or anything, then you just call Pan Pan. Sure enough, they had the Coast Guard here has a station like 2 minutes away, and like within minutes they was there, or one guy was there, and tied off to us, pulled us away. He was going to tow us back to the harbor here where we had our free dock. then the anchor started catching on our way back. So did a couple dives out there in the rough seas to try to cut the anchor line, but I couldn't get it. It was too dangerous. I was worried about the boat going up in a wave and then coming back down hitting me, and then we'd have a whole different situation. So what we ended up doing, we took the anchor from the rescue boat, and I threw it in the back as the boat swang one way. I threw it in the water and then let the boat swing the other way like it does at anchor. But you think of it, now we're anchored from the propeller, not the bow. So it still swings at anchor. Swung across and I pulled that anchor up and it hooked the other anchor. So I pulled them both up. I could cut the line, and then just as chance would have it, it hooked the chain too. So then I pulled our anchor back. So I got our anchor back.
We got back to the free dock.
So we got back to the free dock with the Coast Guard guy. You're parasailing in this boat.
Yeah.
And tied off. He left, did some paperwork, then he left. He tried to call the rental company too, they didn't answer. So anyway, I started diving. It was pretty cold water here, so I'd do a couple, it had to be breath hold dives because I don't have any dive gear. So I dove down a few times. Figured out we had the float was actually under the boat, wrapped up next to the prop, so I cut that loose and we got that back. So we got our fender back. then I just started hacking away with a cheap ass little knife at the road that was stuck around the propeller, and sooner or later it all came off. And how many dives did that take? 5 or 6. Now the engine runs again and we're all free. And then we took the anchor and put another length of rope on it to replace the road, so that we have something to use until we go to a chandlery and get like a real rope to replace it. I mean, it's real rope, but it's just one of the spares they had on the boat. So, but now we have a storm coming in and we are pinned against this dock, and it looks like the next 2 days is going to be super windy. So I don't know if we're going to be sailing tomorrow or not. We might just relax here and then go out Friday again, start again. Adventures never seem to elude us.
Okay.